Welcome to Royal Coin Value. Welcome, coin lovers. Imagine holding a coin that looks so ordinary, yet hides secrets of history, design changes, rare errors, and shocking auction surprises. Today, we're unlocking the story of the 1998 Canadian 1-cent coin, a piece that might just make you look twice at your pocket change. History. The Canadian 1-cent coin has a history stretching back to 1858, but by the late 20th century it had already become a symbol of national pride as well as daily use. The 1998 issue came during a transitional period in Canadian coinage, just a few years before the iconic penny would face debates about its cost, practicality, and eventual elimination. The year 1998 stands out not only for its mintage numbers, but also for the quiet story surrounding the changes in design and production. Design overview. On the obverse, the 1998 penny carries a familiar portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Dora de Pettit-Hunt. This portrait, first introduced in 1990, shows the Queen with a mature and regal expression, a design that Canadians had grown accustomed to by the decade's end. The reverse features a famous maple leaf twig, designed by G. Kruger, a symbol that had been in use since 1937. This design was more than decorative. It represented Canada's identity in the global world. Metal composition. The metal composition of the 1998 cent is one of the intriguing aspects that collectors pay close attention to. During this time, the Royal Canadian Mint had begun experimenting with cheaper and lighter metals to reduce production costs. Most 1998 cents were made of copper-plated zinc, weighing about 2.25 grams. However, collectors whisper about tiny runs and experimental variations that don't always match this description, raising the stakes for anyone searching through jars of old pennies. Mint marks and production. The 1998 Canadian cent was struck at the Winnipeg facility, but unlike U.S. coins, Canadian circulation pennies generally do not carry a mint mark. However, varieties in striking quality, luster, and finish make certain batches stand out from the rest. Some were produced in brilliant uncirculated sets, while others entered the economy in massive numbers, blending almost invisibly into circulation. The Winnipeg Mint's technological changes during this period give specialists plenty to study. Varieties. Collectors love to chase varieties, and the 1998 penny has some notable ones. One of the most famous is a near-date and far-date variety, where the spacing of the numerals and the date differs. To a casual observer, it looks trivial, but to a seasoned numismatist, these details can transform a 1-cent coin into a treasure. Such varieties have made the 1998 issue one of the more closely examined late 20th century Canadian coins. Errors. Errors are where the story gets even more exciting. Some 1998 Canadian cents have been found with double strikes, off-cent strikes, or die cracks that create strange lines across the maple leaves. These minting mistakes are rare, but when they surface, they spark bidding wars. One especially dramatic off-cent strike shocked collectors when it crossed the auction block for a price that dwarfed its tiny face value, a reminder that imperfections sometimes create perfection in the eyes of a collector. Collector demand. Even though billions of Canadian pennies were struck in the 1990s, collector demand for specific years and varieties has remained surprisingly strong. The 1998 penny benefits from its transitional role in metal composition, its varieties, and its relative modernity that appeals to new collectors. For some, it's an affordable entry point into numismatics, while for others, the thrill is in tracking down pristine mint-state examples, where values have unexpectedly pushed into the triple-digit range. Auction stories. Auction houses have witnessed some shocking results when it comes to the 1998 penny. While ordinary examples remain nearly worthless in bulk, certain error coins and high-grade versions have stunned bidders. Imagine a coin that originally cost just 1 cent, selling for well over $500 when its condition and rarity align perfectly with collector demand. These stories keep the 1998 penny in the spotlight, proving that even modern coins can spark major excitement. Rarity and perception. At first glance, the 1998 penny seems far from rare. But true rarity isn't always about how many were minted. It's about how many survive in perfect condition, or with the special traits collectors seek. Circulated coins are everywhere, but flawless, untouched, gem-quality specimens are scarce. And when error varieties are factored in, the hunt becomes even more thrilling, creating a perception of rarity that drives collector passion. Cultural connection. The penny holds a deep cultural connection for Canadians. In 1998, it was still a part of everyday life, jangling in pockets and appearing in children's piggy banks. It wasn't until 2012 that Canada officially said goodbye to the penny, making earlier issues like the 1998 P symbols of nostalgia. For many, owning a penny from the 1990s isn't about its monetary value. It's about remembering a time when the smallest coin still carried meaning. Economic context. By 1998, the economics of coin production were already under scrutiny. It cost more than 1 cent to make a 1-cent coin, sparking debates in government and media about whether the penny should survive. The coin you see from that year is not just copper-plated metal. It's a witness of the economic tug-of-war between tradition and practicality. That economic tension gives the 1998 cent a story beyond its physical form. International interest. The 1998 Canadian cent doesn't only fascinate Canadian collectors. International numismatists, especially those who collect Queen Elizabeth II coinage from across the Commonwealth, prize these coins for their consistency and design. In foreign markets, a pristine 1998 penny can sell for far more than expected, proving that Canada's smallest coin traveled far beyond its borders in reputation. Suspenseful rarity in everyday life. Here's where it gets thrilling. Imagine finding one of these coins today in an old jar or box. To most people, it's a throwaway, a relic from a discontinued currency. But to the trained eye, it might be one of the valuable varieties or errors worth hundreds. This suspense, that a treasure might be hiding in plain sight, is what keeps collectors constantly searching. Today's value. So what about today's value? Most 1998 pennies are still worth only their face value or slightly more in bulk. But when rarity, condition, or errors come into play, the story changes dramatically. A coin that cost just a cent in 1998 can now command shocking sums, with some varieties selling for hundreds of dollars in auctions. This gap between ordinary and extraordinary is the secret that makes the 1998 penny so captivating. Final reflection. In the end, the 1998 Canadian 1-cent coin is more than a tiny piece of copper-plated zinc. It's a reminder of Canadian history, culture, and economic change. It tells a story of artistry, of minting quirks, of global fascination, and of value hidden in plain sight. Every time a collector discovers one in pristine condition or with a rare error, it proves again that no coin is too ordinary to be extraordinary. Thanks for watching, coin lovers. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and tell us in the comments which coin you want us to cover next.